Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will answer the most popular fitness questions there are about working out, finding a suitable training program, progressive overload, and many things more. So I collected these questions both from friends who texted me and things I see being asked often on social media. So I thought it'd be a good idea to compile all of these questions. The answers are gonna be rather short, but if you'd like me to explain one question or one topic in more detail, then please let me know by giving this video a thumbs up and also writing down in the comment section below which specific topic you'd like to know more about. Having said this, let's get started. First question. How do I get started in the gym? Well, it's simple and not so simple at the same time. I talked about this in a recent video, so I'll link it up here and also in the description box below. Long story short, you want to know what your goals are so that you can select a suitable training plan that aligns with your goals and brings you closer to these goals. Then you want to stick with that training program for a long time and be consistent. You also want to make sure that you have good technique, and very importantly as well, be patient, because whatever your goals are, be it gain muscle, lose fat, etc., that all takes time and it won't happen overnight. How do I find a suitable workout program? It goes down to knowing what your goals are, because then you know where to start looking. Generally, I think Reddit is a very good resource for that. So the fitness subreddit and the XX fitness subreddit, they have good compilations of workouts and workout programs that are suitable for beginners, but also intermediate to advanced trainees, and including many different goals. I would recommend you checking these out. I'll have a link down in the description box. How do I know if I'm making progress? That's a bit a difficult one, and it again depends on what your goals are. But generally what I would do is taking progress pictures once a month. And the reason why I would use progress pictures is because I think it tells you a lot more about how your body is changing than the scale does, because no matter if it's for gaining muscle or losing weight, weight fluctuates so heavily and it's only one number, but that doesn't tell you if you're gaining muscle mass and losing fat at the same time, but they cancel each other out, or if you're actually losing both fat and muscle mass, or if you're gaining both fat and muscle mass. So the scale is very limited. That's why I would stick to progress pictures for everything related to aesthetics. But if you have strength goals in mind, then of course track your progress, track the amount of weight you're lifting and the number of reps that you do with that certain weight, and then over time you see you make progress. It will fluctuate. Some days you will not feel as strong and then you might have to lower the weight or do fewer reps, but that's why I think it's again important to track it over the long term, so you see the long-term trends, if they're going up or down or staying the same. And that's how I would go about tracking your progress. Do I need to join a gym? Absolutely not. You can train at home, and again it depends on your goals. If you're serious about lifting weights, maybe have competitive goals, then I would say yes, you should join a gym, just because most people don't have all the equipment they need at home. Either they don't have the money or the space or both, but depending on your goals, it's absolutely not necessary, and you can perfectly also work out from home. How many days in the week should I work out? Well, again, it depends on your goals, on your current fitness level. If you have previous training experience, I would recommend training at least twice a week. For one, from a habit formation standpoint of view, because you need to form habits to stay consistent. And on the other hand, also from a muscle building and strength gaining perspective, because research has shown that training only once a week, even if you do kind of two workouts in one, it's better to split these two workouts into two different training sessions. So that's why I would train at least twice a week. 3 times a week is probably even better, and you can go up to 6 times a week. It all again depends on your training split and what time you have available, but I would still keep at least one day in the week as your designated rest day, so one day on which you don't do any formal exercise. What is progressive overload? So progressive overload describes the progression scheme that allows you to become stronger and build more muscle mass over time. And how it is achieved is very simple actually. So once you have good form, you can progressively overload, for example, by adding a small amount of weight each time you work out. And that perfectly works for compound exercises like squats and deadlifts, or you can add an additional set. So if you do 2 sets of 12 reps, then you can maybe do 3 sets of 12 the next time. However, there's a limit of how many sets you should do. And the last thing is that you can add some rep. And that's why I'm a fan of rep ranges. So let's say you do an exercise for 8 to 12 reps, then you start at the lower end, try and get 8 reps. If that feels easy, the next time you do 9 reps. If that still feels okay, the next time you do 10, then 11, then 12, etc. until you hit the upper boundary of the range. Then you can add some weight and start again at the lower end of the range and work your way up again. Then you repeat this cycle. This is also a form of progressive overload. Basically, you just want to stress your muscles each workout a little bit more than last time. How long should I rest between exercises? So this is a good one, and I think a controversial one. So many people say that shortening the rest periods is a form of progressive overload, and I actually disagree with that. So I would recommend taking at least 1 minute, that's 60 seconds, of rest between exercise. And the reason is that, for one, research has shown that taking at least a minute of rest between 2 sets is beneficial for muscle hypertrophy, so muscle growth, and taking shorter rest times will compromise muscle growth. And also from a strength perspective, if you lift heavy and you train close to failure, then you probably need more time in between sets. So maybe you need up to 3 or 4 minutes of rest. This is actually what I do when I'm deadlifting. I take at least 3 minutes of rest between my sets, but I do like sets of 4. But I'm going so heavy that I need to take that rest in order to be able to go all in again in the next set. So that's also a factor you should consider. So I think you should rest for at least a minute or as long as you feel you need it in order to give the next set everything again. How often should I switch exercises? Actually, you should try and switch up exercises as less frequently as possible. And that's because of progressive overload and tracking your progress. So when you do squats every Monday you can add some weight to the squats, you can try and do more reps, you can try to progressively overload, and also you can track your progress. But if you do like squats sometimes on a Monday and then maybe the next week you don't do squats at all, and then the following week you do them on a Tuesday but with a different number of reps for a different number of sets, then you don't know what weight to put. You might not be able to apply progressive overload to that exercise, so you are actually not making progress. That's why I like to keep exercises for as long as I am able to make progress, and once I really hit a plateau and I can't progress anymore, then I switch it up. But as long as you're making progress on a certain exercise, I think you should continue to have it in your workout plan. And I understand that it's probably not the most fun way to work out if your workouts are the same week after week after week, but in the end it comes down to what your goal is. If your goal is muscle hypertrophy, if you have bodybuilding goals, if you have strength gaining goals, then I think it's very reasonable to stick with a certain training program for as long as possible. Whereas if your goal is simply to move around more and enjoy the process, then of course switch it up whenever you like. So it all comes down to what goals you have, basically. How do I know if my form is good? There are a few ways that you can check your form, and I talked more extensively about it in my how to get started video. But basically what you can do is watch technique videos online of people you know have good form, maybe because they're competitive bodybuilders or powerlifters. Then film yourself, compare you doing the exercise to them doing the exercise. Maybe also ask a friend to watch these 2 videos or watch you live at the gym. You can hire a personal trainer or physiotherapist to evaluate your form, or you can also film yourself and post it to certain fora, for example on Reddit, and they will give you feedback. So that's how you can make sure if your form is good. What is rest and recovery? So rest days are days on which you don't do any formal workout session. You will still be moving around just for daily activities and work and stuff, but you don't formally train. Let's say you work out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, then Tuesday, Thursday, and the weekend would be your rest days. And rest days and recovery is very important because muscle growth and strength gains actually happens during these rest periods. So the training is there to give you a stimulus and tell your muscles that they need to grow and adapt, but the growth and adaptation actually happens on rest days. I primarily want to build my glutes and legs. Should I also train upper body? Short answer, yes, absolutely. Even though you have a focus to train a specific body parts, for example, the glutes or legs or whatever it is, you can put greater emphasis on this specific body part. You should still train the body as a whole. And I think you should do that because then you have a balanced physique, and also to counteract muscular imbalances, because having a weak or lagging body part can actually also impair your performance or lead to injury. I would love to squat, bench press or deadlift, but the bar is still too heavy for me. What can I do? So many workout programs have the squat, bench press and deadlift in it because these are good compound exercises. They train lots of different muscles. They also are the 3 lifts that you practice for competitive powerlifting. But the bar itself, the Olympic weightlifting bar, weighs 20 kilograms or 45 pounds. So that is a substantial amount of weight. Many people, when they're starting out, can't lift yet. So to build up strength for the bar is to just swap it for dumbbells. So instead of a regular barbell back squat, you could do a goblet squat where you hold a dumbbell in front of your body, and once you do this exercise with the 20 kilogram dumbbell, then you can go to the barbell back squat. And the same for bench presses. If you're not able to lift the empty bar yet, then just start out with dumbbells. Take a dumbbell in each hand and just do the bench presses like that. Progress your way up. As soon as you have a 10 kilogram dumbbell in each hand, then you can try and do the bench press with the bar. And for the deadlift, it's the same. Are machines or free weights better? When looking at scientific studies, there's actually no difference in terms of building muscle and gaining strength. Both the machines and the free weights are equally good. One advantage of machines is that these machines are very adjustable and you can start at a very low weight. I think in my gym they start at 2.5 kilogram for each exercise. Also, there's less injury risk because the movement is very much guided along the entire range of motion. However, the free weights also offer benefit, which is that you have to also involve stabilizers and your core is active because you need to stand upright and keep balance and everything. And also with free weights, it is a bit more a natural movement pattern, but what you do is basically up to personal preference and you can do whatever feels best for you. What are compound exercises and should I do them? Compound exercises are often also called multi-joint movements, and that's because they involve movement at multiple joints. For example, the squat is a compound movement because you have movement at the hips, at the knees, and also at the ankles. And it also works different muscle groups. So for example, the quads and the glutes and also the back. Other examples would be deadlifts and bench presses, but also overhead presses, lat pull downs, things along those lines. Compound exercises are in contrast to isolation exercises, which are also called single joint movements, because there's only movement at one joint. One example would be the biceps curl. The only joint that's moving is the elbow joint, and these exercises often involve only one muscle in isolation. In case of the biceps curls, that would be the biceps. And should you do compound exercises, you don't have to. You can build muscle with simply sticking with isolation exercises, but overall they are more effective for strength gains. They lead to a more balanced muscle development, and they are also better for energy expenditure because they move the whole body instead of just one single muscle in isolation. So, and that was it for today's video. If you have any more questions you want me to answer, or if you want me to explain a certain topic more in depth, then let me know in the comment section below. And if you generally find these videos interesting and helpful, then please give me a thumbs up. Also hit the subscribe button and the notification bell next to it so you get notified when I then actually do these videos. With that, I hope you have a nice day, and I see you in the next video. Bye!